Coca-Cola is the most popular drink in the world. But did you know that it first started as a medicine? Yep, back in the late 1800s, it was sold as a health tonic. People believed it could cure headaches and even make you more energetic. But how exactly is the modern version of Coke made in a factory? Keep watching this video to find out. The secret recipe. When it comes to Coca-Cola's secret recipe, it's like something out of a spy movie. People have tried for years to figure it out, but no one has succeeded. What makes it even crazier is how seriously Coca-Cola guards this recipe. The formula isn't written on some notebook lying around the office. It's locked away in a high-security vault, and only a handful of trusted employees know what's inside. These people are sworn to secrecy and are bound by strict legal agreements. They even avoid being in the same room together to reduce the risk of anyone piecing the full recipe together. The recipe itself is believed to include basic ingredients like sugar, caramel, and carbonated water. But what makes Coca-Cola truly unique is the mysterious 7X flavoring. This blend of oils and extracts gives Coke its iconic taste. Some people think it includes hints of vanilla, cinnamon, and even citrus oils, but no one knows for sure. In the factory, this secret blend is added to the syrup during production. It's the moment when Coca-Cola starts to take on the flavor you recognize. Factories worldwide follow strict guidelines to ensure that taste remains identical, regardless of where it's made. The ingredients are checked. Before Coca-Cola production can even begin, every single ingredient is carefully checked and tested. This step isn't just important, it's absolutely essential. Imagine if a bad batch of sugar made it into the mix, or if the water wasn't perfectly clean. The whole drink could end up tasting strange or worse, unsafe to drink. Factories source their ingredients locally whenever possible, but no matter where they come from, every delivery is inspected. Sugar is one of the most crucial components, and it has to meet very high standards. Workers test its color, texture, and sweetness to make sure it's just right. If the sugar doesn't pass the test, it's rejected. Water, however, gets even more attention. It's not enough for the water to be clean, it also has to be completely pure. Factories use advanced purification systems to remove any trace of dirt, bacteria, or chemicals. This process can involve filtering and even adding minerals to balance the taste. After purification, the water is tested again to ensure it's perfect. Coca-Cola takes these inspections so seriously because the company's reputation depends on consistency. Every bottle should taste exactly the same, whether you're in New York or Tokyo. Mixing the ingredients. Once all the ingredients are approved, the real action begins, and that's mixing everything together. This is where the magic happens. In giant stainless steel tanks, workers combine purified water with sugar to make a syrup. It's not just any syrup. This is the foundation of Coca-Cola's flavor. The syrup is heated to help the sugar dissolve and blend perfectly. Next comes the secret 7X flavor blend. Remember how we talked about that earlier? This is the moment it's added. Only specific employees know the exact quantities to add, and machines handle the mixing to keep everything precise. The tanks are equipped with advanced sensors and stirrers to make sure the syrup stays consistent. Even the tiniest mistake in temperature or timing could mess up the taste, so everything is closely monitored. Once the syrup is ready, it's mixed with carbonated water to create the final drink. Carbonated water adds a slight bite to the taste, complementing the sweetness of the syrup. The result is what we know and love as Coca-Cola. By the time this step is complete, the drink is almost ready to be bottled. Carbonation. Now let's talk about the part that makes Coca-Cola exciting, carbonation. This is what gives soda its iconic fizz. But do you know how those bubbles get inside the drink? It's actually a really cool process. Factories use carbon dioxide gas, which is added under high pressure using a machine called a carbonator. The carbonator works like a magic bubble machine. The drink is cooled to just the right temperature, making it easier to absorb the gas. Once the gas is added, it mixes evenly with the liquid to create those sparkling bubbles you love. If you've ever wondered why soda gets flat when left open, it's because the carbon dioxide slowly escapes into the air. This step is super precise. If too much carbonation is added, the drink can become overly fizzy and even burst out of the bottle when opened. On the other hand, too little carbonation makes the drink feel flat and dull. Coca-Cola factories have mastered the balance, ensuring that each sip has just the right amount of sparkle. Once the carbonation is locked in, the drink is quickly chilled again to keep the bubbles from escaping. The result is that refreshing sound you hear every time you open a bottle or can of Coca-Cola. Bottling the Coca-Cola. Once the Coca-Cola is ready, it's time for one of the most exciting parts of the process. I'm talking about bottling. This is where all the hard work in mixing and carbonation pays off. You might think filling bottles with soda sounds like a simple task, but in reality, it's an incredibly complex and high-speed operation. Factories use advanced machinery to handle this step with precision and speed, filling thousands of bottles or cans every minute. It's like watching a well-rehearsed dance, except it involves conveyor belts, robotic arms, and lots of bubbles. Before a single drop of Coca-Cola is poured, the bottles and cans go through a rigorous cleaning process. Even though they're brand new, factories don't take any chances. Imagine a giant washing station where bottles are blasted with water and air to make sure they're completely spotless. This step ensures there's no dust, dirt, or residue that could affect the drink's quality. Next, the clean bottles zoom down a conveyor belt to the filling station. Here, they're filled with Coca-Cola in an instant. The machines are so fast that it's almost like magic, but every movement is carefully programmed. Each bottle gets the exact same amount of Coke down to the millimeter, so nothing is wasted. Immediately after being filled, the bottles are sealed with caps or lids to lock in the fizz. It happens so fast that you'd miss it if you blinked. By the end of this stage, the bottle of Coca-Cola is ready to meet the world. Quality control. You might think bottling Coca-Cola is the final step, but not quite. Every bottle and can still has to pass through a strict quality control process. This is one of the most important parts of the production journey because Coca-Cola is all about consistency. Whether you're sipping it in New York, Tokyo, or a small town somewhere, it has to taste exactly the same. That's where the factory's quality control team comes in. This process begins with random sampling. Workers take bottles or cans from each batch and send them to the lab for testing. Here, trained experts check every detail. They test the taste to make sure the secret recipe is perfectly balanced. They also measure the fizz to ensure there's just the right amount of carbonation. Even the color of the liquids is analyzed to match the brand's signature caramel-like appearance. But quality control doesn't stop at the lab. Machines equipped with cameras and sensors scan every bottle as it moves along the production line. These machines can detect even the tiniest imperfections, like a bottle that's not filled to the right level or a cap that isn't sealed properly. If anything looks off, the bottle is removed immediately. In some cases, if a serious issue is found, the entire batch might be discarded. That might sound extreme, but it's better to ensure that every Coke that leaves the factory is perfect. After all, millions of people count on that unmistakable taste with every sip. After passing quality control, the bottles of Coca-Cola are ready for packaging. This part of the process is like the grand finale. The goal is to make sure the bottles and cans are safely packed and prepared for their journey to stores, restaurants, and vending machines around the world. Like most of the production process, packaging is handled by high-tech machines that work quickly and efficiently. The bottles and cans are first grouped together based on their size and type. For example, smaller bottles might be packed in sets of 6 or 12, while larger bottles are placed into bigger cartons. Robotic arms carefully arrange the bottles into their designated positions, making sure everything fits perfectly. Once grouped, the bottles are wrapped in plastic or placed in cardboard boxes to keep them secure. Next, the packaged Coca-Cola is labeled. This step might seem small, but it's crucial. Labels provide all the important information, like the drink's ingredients, nutritional facts, and expiration date. They also make the product instantly recognizable with Coca-Cola's iconic red and white branding. Finally, the packaged Coca-Cola is loaded into pallets, which are like giant platforms used for shipping. Forklifts move the pallets onto trucks, ready to be transported. Some shipments travel just a few miles to local stores, while others cross continents. It's amazing to think how much effort goes into getting a single bottle of Coke to your hands. The commitment to sustainability. While Coca-Cola is busy making millions of drinks every day, the company is also taking big steps to care for the planet. Producing soda on such a massive scale uses a lot of resources, but Coca-Cola has made sustainability a top priority. Factories around the world are finding creative ways to reduce waste, save energy, and protect the environment. One major focus is packaging. Coca-Cola is working to use less plastic in its bottles and switch to materials that are easier to recycle. In fact, some bottles are now made from 100% recycled plastic. This means fewer new resources are used and old materials get a second life. The company is also encouraging customers to recycle by adding clear instructions on their packaging. Water conservation is another big deal. Since water is the main ingredient in Coca-Cola, factories take extra care to use it responsibly. Many factories now recycle the water used during production, treating it so it's clean and safe for other uses. Some even return clean water to the environment to help local ecosystems thrive. Coca-Cola factories are also embracing renewable energy. Solar panels and wind turbines are being installed at some locations to power the machines. This reduces the need for electricity from fossil fuels, which helps lower carbon emissions. By investing in green technology, Coca-Cola is proving that big companies can still care for the planet while making your favorite fizzy drink. Fun facts about Coca-Cola factories. Before we wrap up, let's talk about some cool facts. Did you know that Coca-Cola is made in over 900 factories around the world? Each factory is designed to meet the needs of the local community, which is why Coke tastes slightly different in different countries. For example, in Mexico, Coca-Cola is made with cane sugar instead of the high-fructose corn syrup used in the United States. Also, Coca-Cola factories are super high-tech. Some factories even have robots that can detect tiny cracks in bottles before they're filled. These robots work so fast and accurately that it feels like something out of a sci-fi movie. At the end of the day, making Coca-Cola is no easy task. It's a combination of science, technology, and a whole lot of passion. Every bottle or can you enjoy has gone through dozens of steps to ensure it's perfect. From the secret recipe to the final sip, Coca-Cola is a drink that has stood the test of time. Now head to the comments and let us know what you think about Coca-Cola's secret ingredient. And if you'd like to discover how things are made from scratch, then subscribe to our channel right away.